Lord have mercy, it takes a lot of self control to not beat the brakes off of someone who spit on you. How degrading, how disgusting, how disrespectful and demeaning is that for you to spit on me? Welcome to another episode of Becoming with Angelina Watkins, and I'm your host, Angelina, your queen of becoming. And I help sophisticated professionals and first-time entrepreneurs become who they need to be so they can do what they're purposed to do, so they can live the abundant life they want to live. And I actually started this podcast because I was passionate about becoming. And I wanted to talk about healing to prosperity and everything in between that's going to help you get in position to win at love, life, and money. All right, in this episode, I'm going to get right into it, y'all. In this episode, we're going to talk about the hardest things to do in life. I've come up with the 9 hardest things there is to do in life. And I'm just going to jump right in because some of these on the list I've experienced. Some of them I have not experienced, but and there's probably way more than what's on my list. But hey, I've got 9 of them, and I wanted to talk about them today. Because let's be real, some of us are struggling, some of us are having a hard time. I know I am. I've been having a hard time. I've been going through some things, and I can't keep pretending like everything's okay when everything's not okay. And I'm saying to myself, I'm struggling. Emotionally, mentally, I am struggling. I'm struggling at work. I'm struggling with things that I had not been struggling with before. And I got to get myself together. And I said, dang, this is really hard for me. I've been able to get over some things. I've been able to deal with some things. But dang, right now, the things I'm dealing with, it's really hard for me. So, what are the hardest things that you have had to deal with in life? Listen to my list. And if you have something to add to the list, then I want you to leave some comments below and let me know what's been hard for you, what's been hard for you to overcome, what's been hard for you to deal with, what are you struggling to overcome is just very, very difficult. Number one, burying a parent. It is very, very hard to bury a parent that has played an integral part in your life of growing up. They've been a positive influence, a positive impact on your life. Some people may say, well, could care less whether my parent lives or dies. And you probably didn't have a really good relationship. But for those who have had a really good relationship, it's hard. And I had to bury a parent. I had to bury a parent 2.5 years ago. And here it is 2.5 years later. There was a moment here recently where I needed him. I needed my father, and he wasn't there. I couldn't reach out to him. I couldn't call him, and I broke down in tears. It is hard continuing life with someone who meant so much to you, and they are no longer here. Number 2, watching a loved one pass away, and there's absolutely nothing you could do about it. To just know that they're sick and you cannot heal them. To know that they are in pain, but you cannot take the pain away. To know that, at any time they could take their last breath and you can't put no more breath into their lungs. It is hard, you all, to know that a loved one, someone you love so dearly and care for, that they are going to pass away, and there's absolutely nothing you could do about it. Number 3, burying a child. Now, I've not lost a child, but I can only imagine what it's like to have to bury your child, because your child is supposed to bury you, but you're burying your child. Someone you love so dearly, someone you brought into this world, someone you gave life to. And now they've brought you so much joy, they've brought you so much happiness. And even in the sad times, you still love them. And now they're gone. And it's hard. It's hard to bury a child, especially when their life was cut short, especially when their life was taken away through a senseless crime or, tragedy, something that could have been avoided. It's really hard to deal with that. Number 4, watching your child go down the road of destruction. and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You've done everything that you can, everything that you could do. You have taught them what you needed to teach them. You are trying to let them know what those consequences are of their behaviors and the road that they're going down, and what they're doing, and they're not hearing you. You know, at some point you have a little bit of control when they're younger, but once they become a certain age, there's only so much you can do. And there's only so much you can say, that they're going to make whatever decisions they want to make for themselves. And everything that you're saying is going on in one ear out of the other, possibly. And so all you can do is just watch them destroy their life. And it hurts. It hurts as a parent to know that you want better for your children. You don't want them to have to go through the things that you go through. You don't want to have them to go through the things that you've seen. Yet they are adamant about repeating history. And there's nothing you can do about it. Number 5, childhood trauma and forgiving that person who hurt you. Okay, childhood trauma, y'all, is a hard thing to get over. And we want to act like people are supposed to just get over it. We're supposed to act like what happened to them when they were young, when they were 5, when they were 6, when they were 7 or 8, that whatever was going on with them, or whatever happened to them, whatever trauma they've dealt with, whether it was some type of abuse or neglect or abandonment, that they're just supposed to grow up and it's all over with. And if we've never gotten the healing, if we've never gotten the therapy, if we've never gotten the counseling that we need to be able to deal with those emotions of it all, it's gonna show up in your adulthood. Okay? We can't just sweep things under the rug that happened to us when we were younger. Childhood trauma is not a joke. It is not a joke. And we've got to heal that inner child. We've got to heal that inner child in order to be able to really be productive as adults. Because we may get a certain level of success, but that childhood trauma is still going to show up in your outbursts, in your relationships, on the job, because we haven't dealt with those things. And then having to forgive the person who hurt you, forgive that person who violated you, forgive that person who stole your childhood. It's going to take a lot to do that, okay? That's a hard thing to do. Number 6, now, number 6, I was just thinking about this one, and self-control when someone has spit on you. Lord have mercy, it takes a lot of self-control to not beat the brakes off of someone who spit on you. How degrading, how disgusting, how disrespectful and demeaning is that, for you to spit on me? And I don't know how they did it in the civil rights movement, how they sat there in those restaurants and they yelled in their face and they spit on them and they did all kind of stuff. And I want to just take this time to thank all of those civil rights movement people and the freedom riders and all of those folks who fought for us to be where we are today. We still got a ways to go, but I thank you for paving the way and making my life easier, even though we still deal with racism. But that's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing not to smack somebody in their face who just spit on you, okay? Number 7, accepting the truth is hard, especially when you've believed the lie for so long. It's really hard to wrap your head around the truth, and that's why so many of us get stuck, because we're presented with the truth, but we don't believe the truth because the lie seems more real than what the truth is. And I always say there's 3 things that's going to hold you back, 3 things that's going to keep you from getting where you want to be, living the life you want, making the money you want. And the first one is the lies that people tell you, the lies you tell yourself, and then 3 is the truth you don't want to believe when you rather believe the lie. And so accepting the truth and accepting the lie that we've been told is just, it's very, very hard for people to accept. Number 8, leaving people behind. Leaving your loved ones behind, leaving your friends behind, especially if they've not really done anything to you, but you know they're not good for where you are. You know they're not good for where you're going. And it's very, very hard to let go. It's hard to let go of the past and those people who are not serving your future. It's hard. And I see it all the time. I've been there. It's hard to walk away from that relationship that was not good for you. It's hard to walk away from that friendship that's not good for you. Especially when you've been friends with somebody for so long, 20, 30 years, you think like, this is my forever friend. This is not a seasonal friend. This is my lifetime friend. And I'm going to walk away. We've been through a lot. We have trauma bond. They've been there for me with the things I've gone through, and I'm just supposed to walk away. It's hard to let go and leave people behind. My last one, number 9. Trust when you've been let down so many times. The hardest thing to do is trust people when you have been let down a lot. Over and over again, you have been betrayed, you have been lied to, you have been lied on, you have been, things have been stolen from you, you've been violated, you've been dogged out, you've been talked about, and it just becomes very, very, very difficult to trust people. And so what I want to let you know is that in the things in life that we face, these life obstacles that get in our way, that slow us down, that get us stuck, that make us stop in our tracks, you can heal from them. You can get to a level where you can move on. You can't get to a point where the pain goes away. But you have to deal with the pain. You have to deal with the emotions of it all. You know, from burying a parent to watching a loved one pass away, to burying your child or watching them go down a road of destruction, all of those things, dealing with childhood trauma, we have to be able to deal with the emotion of it all. The first thing I tell people, when you want to heal and you want things to get better, stop pretending like it's not, like it is already better. Stop sweeping it under the rug. If you want to cry, cry. Let it out. I remember I was hurt over a relationship, but I would get up and I would go to work and I would cry at my desk. And sometimes when it was really, really hard, I would just leave. I would walk out, leave my desk, maybe go in the bathroom, maybe go in another private room, go somewhere where I could be with myself, deal with the emotion of it all, cry it out, and then come back to my desk and finish working. Okay? Y'all, stop holding it in. You gotta release it. That's just the only thing I'm going to tell you today. In dealing with the hardest things that you have to do is don't ignore the feelings that you feel. Don't ignore the emotions of it all. Go through the process of feeling the emotions so that you will be able to release that emotion and be able to release some of that out of your body, because that's the only way you're going to begin to heal. And if you got to cry for months, then you just got to cry for months. Don't let nobody tell you how long it's going to take you to get over losing a parent. Don't let nobody tell you how long it's going to take you to get over losing your child. Don't let nobody tell you how long it should take you to be able to let go, because there's nothing that you can do about the path that your child has chosen. Feel your feelings. Go through the process of feeling the emotions and processing those emotions. That's the very first thing and the only thing I'm going to tell you today. Okay? Now, if you've gone through some things that weren't on the list, I want to know, what has been the hardest thing for you to do in life? What has been the hardest thing for you to deal with? Go ahead and leave me a comment, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, all right? And that notification bell so you don't miss another episode. Now, where you are is not where you have to be. Your past does not define you. You define you. So heal, transform, and pursue you.